The arrest and subsequent release of controversial private investigator Paul O'Sullivan. Mr. O'Sullivan has described his arrest by police as an intimidation tactic. He's currently investigating Acting Police Commissioner Kgomotso Phahlane's finances. Paul O'Sullivan was released just after midnight. His lawyer, Willie Spies, argues in court papers that the arrest was intended to harass and intimidate his client and that he would have gone to a police station if he was asked to by the police. But for more on the story, we're joined on the line by Willie Spies, the legal representative of Paul O'Sullivan. Willie, thanks so much. Thanks a lot for talking to us here on the program.
Good morning. Thank you.
Willie, just talk us through what happened last night.
Well, first of all, Mr. O'Sullivan consulted me at about 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon. We met for about an hour and a half, and he left my offices around about 6:30 last night. As he left my offices, about 8 police vehicles coming from 8 different directions actually chased him, and they stopped his car just about 300 meters from the gate leading to my office, and they arrested him. I rushed to the scene, and I took the court order that was granted by the Deputy Judge President Wadwaba last year on the 16th of November. I read the court order to the Brigadier on duty, which is Brigadier Ndube, and I explained to him that in terms of this court order, Mr. O'Sullivan is not to be arrested in the way that they are arresting him, that the court order provides for the fact that if there is any matter that the police would like to arrest him, then they should give him 48 hours notice to report to the nearest police station. So that is in short the position as it was communicated to the Brigadier. He ignored that. He said, well, he does not agree with the court order, and he carried on arresting him. So we rushed to the urgent court at 9 o'clock yesterday evening. Once again, the court proceedings was delayed by the legal representatives of the police, who took more than 2 hours to pitch up to court. And we finally ended up at 11 o'clock yesterday evening explaining the situation to the serving urgent judge, Judge Lechodi. And Judge Lechodi actually guided the parties towards a settlement, which led to an order in which it was ordered that Mr. O'Sullivan need to be released immediately before 11:30 last night. That actually happened. He was eventually then released last night in the late night hours, and he slept at home.
So what I'm gathering here is I can only imagine that Mr. O'Sullivan is certainly going to take action against the police, and that we can see him taking the issue a lot further, because this is contempt.
This is a clear example of contempt of court. And it took a while for the police to realize and to accept the fact that this was a court order for some or other reason, despite the fact that the court stamp was shown to them, despite the fact that the police were party to the proceedings last year, and that the state attorney gave the undertakings that was embodied in the court order. The police just carried on. They disregarded the order, and they carried on as they wished.
So the reasoning behind this, the reasoning that the police are giving, is they are saying that he was impersonating an IPID officer. Is that the reason for his arrest that they gave you?
Apparently that is one of the charges against him, yes.
Are there other charges?
There are other charges. I haven't seen them, but I've been told that there are other charges. All of them seem to be fabricated charges based on a process that's been followed since last year, which process, by the way, was the very reason for our court application last year in November when we obtained the interim order.
Now, obviously, we do know that he has been released. This was at late last night, midnight, to be correct there. But this all comes in the backdrop of Mr. O'Sullivan, who is investigating the acting police commissioner. And does Mr. O'Sullivan feel that this is a way of intimidation? Does he feel that this is going to hamper his investigations? Will he continue with his investigations?
Well, obviously, he's not the investigator. We must make that clear. What he was doing here is that he was assisting IPID, the Independent Police Investigative Directorate, in an investigation against the acting police commissioner. And his assistance was given with regard to specific expert opinion and expert advice that he can give in matters like this, being a certified fraud examiner. That is his profession, that is the work that he does, and that he's been contracted to do that, and obviously he assisted the police or the directorate in investigating these claims. So that's the role that he played. For some or other reason, some legal advisor in the National Commissioner's office thought that it was appropriate, or that gave reason to a charge in terms of Section 33. 5 of the IPID Act, which says that you cannot, a member of public cannot portray or pretend to be an IPID official. But that is not what Mr. O'Sullivan did. Everyone knows who Mr. O'Sullivan is. Everyone knows him. He's very well known in the media. He's a public figure. Everyone knows that he's not working for IPID. Everyone knows that he's not a police officer. And that's exactly the problem that we have, despite the fact that it is general knowledge that he's a simple member of the public, a citizen of this country. The police fabricates a charge that he has impersonated being an IPID official, which is not the case, and which is a blatant lie, to be honest.
Yeah, but if we look at the same case that was levelled against Sarah Jane Trent, the same charge against his attorney, what do you think is behind all of this?
Well, what is behind all of this is, and I think it's been mentioned, and Mr. O'Sullivan has mentioned it as well, I am afraid that this is a clear example of intimidation. There are certain tendencies in what is happening here. We should remember that the unit that was involved in the arrest, there are 2 investigating officers, Brigadier Ndube and Brigadier Kgomotso. They both report to General the General Mabula, who is the same general who headed the squad that arrested Farinel some years ago while the investigations regarding the former police commissioner Jackie Selebe was underway. It was also the very same general who arrested another general within the police, Johan Boysen, who was whistleblowing corrupt activities within the police force. He was arrested for being a whistleblower, and it's time and again the very same people, the very same personalities who gets involved in this kind of action. The purpose of this action is in fact to obstruct the ends of justice. It is to frustrate an investigation, a valid investigation that's been undertaken by IPID against the acting National Police Commissioner, and it actually shows how the rule of law is being undermined by the police themselves, and that is the cause of concern as far as we're concerned.
All right, we'll leave it there for this morning, but thank you for updating us on your side. A story that is developing. It happened last night, and he was released midnight. That's Paul O'Sullivan. And of course, we were speaking to his legal representative, Willie Spies, on the line, talking to us about the arrest and also the steps to be taken forward and what they believe was behind this arrest.